If you want all the info, I know that wasn't the best explanation. Type exclamation mark CL in the chat. Okay, so here we go. We have Vinch. Oh, it's Saracens again. Okay, so we're seeing a Saracens matchup again. This gives me a little bit of time to calm down. But in the purple is Vinchester. In the blue is Fire. And it is Islands. Now, Vinchester put on a great display in the Arabia game. Fire is known as the master of Islands. He won the Islands tournament. He is arguably the best water player in the world. So I want to see how this goes. Very interesting that they're so close together here, but the TCs are so very far away. So there could be landing potential. And there could be potential that they would dock maybe further away from one another as well. Let's take a quick look at where the golds are and everything. You can see Vinch's gold's actually over here, which is messy. They can't use a rehost. Both players have used their rehosts. Wood lines aren't really an issue for either player, but the golds are what you want to touch on. So this is where the golds are for Vinch. And then gold and wood for Fire is fine. I mean, there's not going to be any land raiding or drushes or anything, so we don't have to worry too much about all of the resource placement. But what we do want to look at is where they will dock. And I think Fire needs to go down here. That's where a lot of deep fish are located, and that's probably the closest area where he could go out here. Meanwhile, Vinch... Well, this is awkward, because normally you don't want to go at a location like this. You want to go to the very end, to a peninsula, and then dock, because there's more deep fish there. But this actually wouldn't be too bad for him. Well, maybe this wouldn't be too bad. That's the closest water to him. Out here's pretty awkward because it's a lot of shallow water. Forward, you never want to dock forward on shallow water, especially. We'll just see how it plays out. I really like Vinchester in this matchup against Fire because Vinchester has really good micro, and Vinchester's very aggressive. If you guys remember how Vinchester played against Viper, that scares me every time. Vinchester landed Viper, and I really like to see top players tested. Vinchester might lose the water, mainly because the important thing is you have to balance your economy behind it, and Vinchester might not have that knowledge, but he might be tempted to land. And if he does land, there's a lot of space right here that players could take advantage of on either side. This is actually going to be annoying for Vinch, though. He's going to have a boar out here he has to use the scout for. I think he'll be able to do it, but some annoying factors in this game for sure. I do notice Vinch put his dock up here. Fire's going to be building his dock down there. Did I say those areas? I might have said those areas. Good placement. Unlike Arena, it is standard to use your scouts to bring in boars. Vinch is so crazy, I love it. Yes, he is crazy. In fact, if you are relatively new to my channel, in T90 Series 1, yes, T90 Series 1, Dave and I casted 7 amazing games between MBL and Vinchester, and it's definitely worth a look. That's on my YouTube, and it is in a playlist if you want to check it out. But yeah, this guy, this Vinchester kid, like, he's 19, I believe, 18 or 19. He's beaten Fire. He should have beaten Viper at least once in the 4 games they played. He faced off against Mr. Yo in the Arabia final, in the Arabia Invitational final. I mean, this guy has talent, so we definitely need to keep this guy in the community and respect what he can do. Okay, looks like there's a pause. But Quince says, perfect dock for Vinch. Well, I can't see the deep fish jumping anymore, but I believe there's about 4 or 5 down here. I think Fire's is a little bit better. There's like one here. I guess I can look at the mini-map, but it doesn't always tell us. Let's hope there wasn't a drop. I'll take a look at the game room real quick. It's always possible. It's so funny, everybody was saying there was a storm in Brazil, and that's why Fire was late today, but really he was just late. Does Dave still co-commentate with UT90? Dave and I got in a fight, and we said enough is enough. Yeah, of course he does. I'm just kidding. Our schedules kind of differ, so like right now, he's at work, I believe, and he works like a normal 9 to 5 job while I work random hours all the time, which helps me stream at good times for Europeans, but it doesn't necessarily help us co-casting. So yeah, we do co-cast together, but it just depends. Like last T90 series, Dave would have co-casted, but he was out of town, so. So the metagame with islands is you want to go with 3 or 4 fishing ships, and then you want to hook up to the fuselage. You want to go with multiple docks, and then you want to try and win the galley war. And both players on the right side, they might find each other. And soon. If this game unpauses. Look at the left corner, all the fish. Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of fish here. What's that fishing show? It's like I forget what it's called. Like all these people are like trying to catch crabs and fish, and they're like freezing their fingers off and dying and swearing the entire show. Whatever show that is, I know that's the best explanation possible. They would love this, I'm sure. Except it looks like a warmer climate than they're used to. So maybe they like it because it's a warmer climate. Who knows? Climate. Deadliest catch. Okay. Deadliest catch. Do they just catch crabs in that show? I mean, we have time to talk. Let's talk. Do they just catch crabs or fish as well? I've never really watched it. Okay. Well, everybody's still in the game, so maybe they paused for a water break or something. They just catch... Just crabs? Okay. Well, that's boring. Nobody wants to catch crabs, kids. Alright, so, I mean, we can focus on some small things, like Vinchester being a villa ahead, as the game now does begin again. He also is about 50% ahead with the fishing ship production. But I think the fishing ship production has to do with the fact that he is closer to the water. So he got closer, he was able to get to that area faster. And build the dock. Yeah, uptimes are going to be important. I think Fire has the advantage with the knowledge of the resources he needs. Get to the castle age, wants to get to the feudal age, because you need to balance out your eco. It's much different than Standard Arabia. Sometimes you have to use the market, sometimes you have to go to the berries early, sometimes you have to use farms. To be honest, that knowledge isn't really in my head. I just kind of look at the resources, but we'll see if it's in Vinchester's head. And I think he's making a bit of a mistake with his build. You can see these villagers are idle. He needs the food. That was a long period of time. Like 5-10 seconds in Age of Empires time is like what? 3 months? Something like that? That might be an entire year, I don't know. But they might have been on strike. Is that a deep fish? It is a deep fish for Fire. And Fire will be on its way up shortly as well. Finch still has an extra vill. This lag will fix in a moment, guys. It is just us catching up to that 3-minute mark. The 3-minute mark was the spec delay. So normally it's 90 seconds, but it's 3 minutes for this set of games. So yes, it'll take a little bit of time. And I think we're going to be good now. There we go. Okay, so we are good. Vinch has a good jump to the next stage. 5 fishing ships as well. Gonna be able to dock down here? He is gonna be able to dock down here. Now, I like the position for both players. If you're in a corner like this, you can be tempted to just toss out a couple extra fishing ships and then defend. Just try and get to the castle age as soon as possible. We could see both players do that. Both players went to 5. I'm not sure what we will see. Ooh, okay, now I am sure what we will see. Fire will go for a transport. And he will probably make it right away. This will be different. This will be different for sure. And Vinchester was the transportee. Versus Viper, he will be transported versus Fire. But hold on a second, are we going to have a double transport again? Real quick, let's talk a little bit about what I wanted to say, that way you know for future games. With the positioning of Vinchester, he could always fish boom down here a little bit and then just defend right in the small choke point. Fire could basically do the same. But I think both players are going to do something different. Vinchester's going to send a transport up here and fire... Well, he's not yet in the feudal age, but I believe he will send a transport as well. So both players going to transport, which is awkward because this is... There's going to be so many things going on once more. You're going to have some galleys coming out to snipe the fishing ships. You're going to have archers at your base, which you can't defend because you're building forward ranges or forward something. And then you're going to have basically forward military, defensive military you do not have, and vice versa for everything that I'm discussing. Fire's actually going to FC? Okay, so Fire has actually done something completely different. He didn't make a transport. He's just fast castled. So he built the barracks to trick us. He has gone for a blacksmith and a stable. He might still transport, or he might just defend with fire ships, but that's a risky move. There's a reason you don't fast castle on islands. Vinchester will land, and I am right for one of these guys, and I am right about the fact that Fire will have to defend. However, if Fire is up with that lightning quick time, which is ridiculous, 1557, he might be able to defend a lot easier. Vinchester is forever feudal at this point, and what are we going to see? 2 ranges? Okay, now let's see. Is Vinch going to do the same thing again and show his scout to his opponent? He's not going to do that. Please no. Please no. I'm really pulling for a close game. I hope he doesn't send his scout next to this wood line. Fire can make some knights, and he should be fine. This is actually a really wise play. I don't know if he thought about this, but... Oh, he snuck a transport out. Basically, Fire can defend with knights if he needs to, versus the archers. And then he can transport to attack if he needs to. And this is just completely different as well. Fire can now see that scout, so he should expect this. Yep. Knight immediately on its way. And he probably would have sent out knights either way because there's not a lot of galleys from Vinch, so he's expecting a landing. Both players understanding that the islands are close together and there's a lot of space next to the TCs. So we're gonna see... Oh! Man, I'm wrong. Like, over and over and over again. Fire did not see it. There's an archer here now. And he's gonna need a knight here. He's actually sending the knight into the transport. And he's gonna send it back. Fire fighting with villagers. It's still gonna be rough for Vinch, I think, once the knight comes out. There's now 2, but... I'm okay with being wrong as long as it's exciting. Vinch is gonna have to run away. There's 2 knights, Vinch. Come on, man. You really think you're gonna out-micro this? What's Fire gonna do with this transport? It looks like he's trying to work on this first. That was really smart to pull that weak knight away. Keep every unit alive. And Fire, I think, has an advantage now in the Castle Age, while Vinchester might have a lot of fishing ships, but he is not in the Castle Age. He's about to click up, though. Fire has 2 TCs now as well, and knights will be at Vinch's base any moment now. Vinch has to expect this, and Vinch needs to wall off his base and fast. 1 hole could be devastating. Vinch selling his way to the Castle Age. Wonder if Fire will send the Vills as well. You would think he's gonna send Vills as well. But right now, he's idle. Vinch could spot this with the galley. I like it when players put houses here like this, because then when Vinchester patrols, he will run into the house and not the transport. Oh man, that was close. Vinch did not see that. He has not walled this off. He has to expect this possibility, though. I don't understand why he hasn't walled off his base. You can see Fire's booming up his eco a little bit more. He's also defending with fire ships, or he will defend with fire ships shortly. But here come the knights. Is there a hole there? There's not a hole there. Massive walls for Vinch. He's gonna send these vills in and wall it off. Oh! Okay, he's able to do it. but not easy. Fire could easily send a transport around the outer edge, so he needs to be careful there. And also, we're gonna need to see more walls from Vinch. But anyway, interesting game. You can see archers are still being created from Vinchester. He only has 4 though, not really gonna do an awful lot. And now the fires from Fire should clean up these galleys, and Vinchester has to run back. So I think Fire has an advantage right now, but Vinchester, he has a moment to do something more. He's gonna go for a monastery and try and push these knights away. He's finally in the castle age. Vinchester's buying wood. I'm not sure what he's buying wood for, but probably for a TC. He needs to quick wall that off, and he's done it again. He has done it again. It looks like he's walled off the right side as well. He's not safe from other transports, but if he holds to the choke points, he might be fine. Also, the monk will be helpful if he can get the gold for it, just to push the knights away. Now, the one thing Vinchester does have is 2 ranges on Fire's Island, and that'll force Fire to react a little bit. You can see Fire's already going for a siege workshop. Fire's scared. There might be like 30 crossbows in those ranges, so he's gonna go for a Maginot, but those ranges will probably go down. We do have Fire transporting around Vinchester's base now. He's probably gonna try and come down here maybe, and Vinchester's expecting that already. And he might go for conversion. I don't think that'll be successful. And I am curious to see if Vinchester will spot this. We'll see if he reacts. I'm not sure what that is from Fire. It could be villagers as well, but I assume it is knights. So right now, it's kind of a boom war, and, you know, say what you want, but Vinchester seems to be doing okay. He has all of his fishing ships on the left side relocated, far away from Fire's fire ships, and that means he actually has more fishing ships than Fire. He definitely has a lot of idle time. Yup, Fire was going to try and transport there. Not today, Junior. The Fire's gonna lose a knight, kill a monk. We'll lose that knight as well. But I find that little bit of walling from Vinchester very smart. A very close game. I think, similar to what we've said many times before in these games, Fire has had less idle time back at home, so his economy should be ahead. And he might abuse his market a bit because he's floating a lot of gold. So he definitely might... He might choose to try and get up to the Castle Age, or sorry, the Imperial Age first, utilizing the market. And then I think he should go water control. Because he can, you know, kill these villagers, he can kill these villagers, but we'll see. Water control will help him land as well. If he gets water control, he can drop a castle here easily. Which is more TCs from Vinchester. I'm surprised there's very little water control right now. But, well, galleys from Vinchester. It looks like Vinchester still has his original galleys, though. When there's this many fire ships out from Fire, it's just asking too much of galleys. And actually, this is a huge deal. Fire is pushing all these fishing ships away. That's big. And he has a ton of fire ships as well. A lot more than I originally thought. He has 3 here, and I believe he has 3 down here. Or 2 at least. So that's a good victory for Fire. He's getting handcart now. Fire's economy is definitely better than Vinchester's. Vinchester has idle TCs. He's getting some of the relics, but I don't know. It's just not pretty for him right now. Oh, can he kill the transport? It's not that important. I mean, if Fire wants to transport again, he's going to have to make another transport. 2 knights, not a big deal, but it would be funny to see, and it looks like the knights will get over. Transport will go down. Saracen transports are strong, so it's not an easy thing to do. But it's definitely not that important. Still, Vinchester has a couple more vills. I think Vinchester should think about putting a castle up on the water, because if Fire does get water control, then Fire is going to be able to have full reign over the edges of the map. I feel like a castle on water is a really good idea from both players, actually. Can the monk convert the demo? No, cannot. This is basically the important thing going on right now. I mean, Fire has basically won the water. He's pushed the fishing ships away from Vinch. Vinch has kept some of his fishing ships alive, but it's been a good victory for Fire. Fire's on his way to Imp first, and he's getting scale mail. But still, I think Vinch needs a dock. Like, if Vinch had a... I mean, not a dock. Docks would be nice at some point, but if he has a castle here, then the castle would have denied these docks from doing anything. But he just doesn't have the stone for it right now. He doesn't have the resource to get up to Imp. He is actually building docks on the front, and when there's docks in the front like this, castles are so important, but also, you can't run away from the fights very easily. And you have to think Fire, getting War Galley now, getting Ballistics, already having Handcart while Vinchester gets Wheelbarrow, you have to think Fire is in the lead. Are these monks going to be transported across? There's 2 in there already. What is Vinch going to do with these monks? I don't know, but he's behind. He's definitely behind. Fire, I mean, he's housed. He doesn't have higher population, but he has higher military population, and that's the important thing here. What are the monks doing? What is this going to accomplish, Vinchester? I mean, I don't get it. The monk is gonna go down now. Gonna try and convert a couple knights maybe. I just find this funny. Nope, monks are gonna go down now. Again, truly not important to this game. But a castle on water would be so important. Fire is going to hit Imp when Vinchester completes War Galley. And now Fire is clicking Galleon at the same time. This isn't looking good for Vinchester. In fact, he's way behind now. Once the upgrades start pouring in, it's going to be near impossible for Vinchester to fight this without the Imperial Age upgrade. And the one thing that could help him is a castle right here. However, if he wants to place a castle, he cannot do that if Fire has galleons with chemistry and bracer. So he needs to think about doing that. He's looking for the Imperial Age upgrade first. He's gonna have to run away. Again, once Fire has full map control, he can come down here, kill these villagers, come down here, kill these villagers, land. The map looks so much smaller once you hit the Imperial Age, and there's a castle from Vinch. So Vinch is gonna try and put a castle up now, but I fear it's too late for him. Unless Fire doesn't see that, which is possible. Okay, Fire does see that. Vinch is going to try and buy himself some time and fight this one. And that's a lot of villagers building it, so it looks like... actually, a pretty good fight for Vinchester here. And castle should go up as well. That wasn't too bad on the right-hand side. Fire's going to wise up and send more units in, though. Castle will go up. That should push Fire away. And there's a castle now for Fire as well. So, my guess is that Fire's going to go with the Treb. Try and take this out as soon as possible. That way he can run around without running into a castle. Fire's already back here, doing exactly what I said he should do. And just... perfect play from Fire to get the water control throughout this game. He stopped the fishing. And now he's stopping the resources from coming in as well. Vinch might have more villagers, but I don't know how long that will last. He's had more idle time this game. But he's using this little pocket of space I talked about in the early game to mass up his units, and using his castle to buy himself some time. As of now, Fire does have a higher military score. More military, 29, well 30 to 11. And there's a Treb now from Fire. So Vinch still not in Imp. He's almost there. He's going to need a Treb as well. And he's going to need all the upgrades. And chemistry takes a while. Bill's still going down for Vinchester. You can see the massive army Vinch is sent back here just to kill 2 ships. And Mr. Monk's going to go down as well. I can't believe Fire was paying attention to 2 galleons. There's one treb. Flyer's gonna go with another treb. And another after that. That's the strength of a castle. You can see that the castle has decent amount of range, can do a lot of damage to ships, but Vinch is now forced to repair. A lot of you guys want to see demo ships. Demo ships you're not going to see in Standard Islands play. And I don't think Vinch has the time or the resources to mass them anyway. And there's the GG. That, after the Arabia game, let's be honest, after the Arabia game, that was not the best game in the world. I liked the fact that Vinch went to land, but Fire's